Yo, oh, this is like right. Hey, this is right over my face. What's up? What is up? What's up? Good morning, interwebs. Good morning, you beautiful bastards. How are you guys today? What's going on? Good morning, Mr. Pace. Yo, foo. Hello. What's going on? What's going on with you guys? Cheers. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the discussion. Morning crypto with me, party time. You know how we do it. What is up, everybody? Pile in, plenty of room in the back. What are you guys up to today? I got a bunch of new toys is what I got. For Valentine's Day, I was like, man, how do I avoid this feeling? I'll buy things. I was like, I'm going to buy a bunch of cool stuff. So I bought a bunch of cool toys. Yo, what's going on? Let's chat it out for a minute. Let's just say hey. Let's say hey to each other. We'll just say cheers, good morning, welcome to crypto discussions in the morning. Maybe we get a little bit existential. Maybe we talk about all the things. Maybe I get too personal. I overshare. You never know. You just don't know, do ya? Let's see. Big stuff in the news today that we're going to talk about. The JP Morgan coin that just got launched. There's some discussions about what we talked about. Jalen yesterday asked about the Token Taxonomy Act, so we'll talk about that for a minute. Mainly, we're going to talk about JP Morgan coin and how it's not a threat to XRP, how it might actually be a benefit long term. So that's going to be majority of today's stream, probably breaking that down, talking about that, looking at some other little news announcements that kind of piled through. We have some other just like developments that are worth mentioning. Nothing too crazy, but let's see what's happening with you guys as you pile in. We got the charts up. I got looking at the BTC versus XR versus USD tether pairing in Binance. Talking about Bitcoin might be near the bottom. Looking at some of the tweets I put up yesterday, some of the retweets I put up, and also I just want to talk about. I hope you guys are ready for this like ridiculous YouTube edit I'm dropping. It's very much outside of what I normally do for you guys. I'm working on that. I'm working on this video about the depth charts and understanding slippage and purchases and manipulation of the chart walls, the depth chart walls, the buy sell walls. That video is probably going to be out tomorrow at this rate. Just doing that one. I'm also working on a music video for a song I really like. Just practicing making music videos. So we'll have that up, and you know, just I hope you guys like it, or just don't judge it too harshly. Maybe judge it very harshly. Laugh at it. I don't care. Send it to your friends. I'm gonna say hey to some more people. What's going on? Good morning. What's up, Mr. Pace? Yo, foo. Who you calling a foo? Huh? Oh, wait, you're saying foo, like kung fu. Okay, cool. Egbertina, hello. Hey, everyone. Greetings from the Netherlands. What's up? How are you today from the Netherlands? Chelly Fire, good morning, Chelly Fire. How are you today? Sup, foo, tell me more. What's up? El Brando. Anthony Jackson, there ain't no party like a KFN party because the KFN party don't stop, except for when it does stop, or like I just shut down, or I get upset, or I'm a jerk, or I get hungry. If I get hungry, the party stops real quick. But otherwise, yeah, the party just keeps going. Cheers. What's up, Body Sculpting? Sup, bro? How are you, man? Cheers. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for showing up. What are you doing today? How are you? Anthony Jackson, you fourth. Corey and I are on our way to South Padre Island. Look at you little lovebirds out there on the adventure time. Adventure time. I used to... I did this whole like ridiculous... You just used that. I was using that from my Instagram stories. What? Why did my stream just crash? What just happened? Why is the stream crashing? It says the stream just crashed. And it stopped. I don't know why. What happened? Come on, internet, get it together. So yeah, I was out in Costa Rica hanging out with my friends, and I literally just walked around and just doing Instagram stories throughout the day. I just kept saying story time, something, look at my friend do this, story time, look at something. I just like the way that sounds. Like, I just like the way, like, over accentuating the ridiculous, like, announcer quality of my voice and saying story time seemed like, I don't know, it was fun. It was stupid fun. And people got really tired really quick. They were like, please stop that. And I was like, story time. This guy wants me to stop saying story time. And I just kept doing it. It was great. I think that's on my channel somewhere. I think it's like story time. God damn it. I'm so dumb sometimes, but I love it. Okay, cheers. You guys are going to South Padre, cool. Be safe, have fun, you little lovebirds. Good evening, Egbertina. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time of day it is. Welcome back to the live streams with me. We are going to do this thing like we do. Lawrence, hey. KFN, what's up? XRP, hey. Good morning from Kuwait. Good. Hello. Corey says hi too. Hello, Corey. Corey Ziegelman. And Jellyfire, welcome. Loxt Wolf, hello. Hi. Loxty. Loxty, how are you? Thank you so much for all your support, Loxty. Jay Midnight, good morning, everyone. Today's Corey's birthday. Wish him happy birthday. He's driving and listening. Everyone, please take a moment to send some birthday vibes to Corey Ziegelman, who has been an OG in this space. Very knowledgeable young cat, that one. Corey Ziegelman, happy birthday, my friend. You deserve it. I hope you get everything you wanted and more. You deserve it. You survived another year. We're very proud of you. You did it, sir. Congratulations. Happy birthday, man. This is a cool day for a birthday too. What an auspicious day for a birthday. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna stop. JPM coin to the moon. Hey, Kung Fu, Ivo the V, what's up? Discouraged ones, rest in peace, XRP. I disagree. I think XRP will benefit from this, and we will talk about why in a minute. Theta Token is a good project. Yo, nerd, happy V-Day. Thank you so much. What TF B&H says, good morning, everyone. Myron Bagley. Hello, Bagley. Chelly says, back. Looks all good here. No more XRP. JP coin is the future. Discouraged ones. You're an idiot. I'm not saying that. That's not me. I'm just reading comments. Jake Farood throwing some fire back at you. It's a stable coin pegged to the dollar. Yeah, it's kind of foolish. Anthony Jackson, thank you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Cheers. I don't know where my bells are. I don't know. Did that show up? Did you guys hear that read out? And I just talked over it. I need to make sure that my sound is like just audible enough for me to know when to not be talking. Anthony Jackson, thank you so much. I'll read it anyway. Breaking news. BG just put out a new riddle leaked that there may only be 28 days in February this year. Well... well, I guess that's right. Cheers. Well, there we go. It seems right. I think he's spot on. I'll trust everything else he says. What did I miss besides the run up? Let's go look at what you missed. I don't know. You guys can't see what I'm seeing. We're in the mountains together. You and I are breathing in the fresh air of the mountains. Happy day. Good times. Hope you guys are feeling well. Let's drop over to my candlesticks in Binance. You guys ever chill out in Binance? Okay, here we are. Looking at, let's do the 5-minute window. Slight little pop. I think we were down at 30 cents, 32, and now we're at 34.94. So a little bit of run there. We'll get back to that in a second. You mean poo-poo coin? Clarence Dennison's throwing some shade about JP Morgan coin. What's up, Crypto SB? How are you? Thanks for joining. Happy birthday, Corey, says Clarence. Clarence is wishing you happy birthday. Jay Midnight as well is wishing you happy birthday, Corey. 20 cents XRP very soon. Discouraged ones, I think, is very hopeful about being able to buy more XRP at a cheaper price. Renegade Man says you can't buy the JPM coin. It's not a stable coin. Do your research, guys, before you make stupid comments. JPM will help XRP in the long run. Renegade Man seems to know what's up. What's up, KFN? Sean Schaefer, how are you? Thanks for joining. Happy birthday, Corey, says El Brando. Hey, Kung Fu. What up, John Ardan? Thank you so much for showing up today. How are you? The Great Pate. Nope. Crypto SB. LOL. Perfect. Okay, we're caught up with the comments. Let's say first some morning announcements. First of all, guys, I am in no way responsible for your choices in life, okay? I am in no way responsible for your purchases. If you guys need to take personal responsibility for yourself, I would encourage you to start doing it right away. Yeah, I'm not going to say if you do. You definitely do. So first and foremost, this is not the financial advice stream. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not a fiduciary. I'm not offering you financial advice. I'm only offering a conversation around the topics that are presented today in the format of cryptocurrencies and technology, maybe with a splash, a sprinkle of personal drama, maybe a sprinkle of existential nonsense. Maybe we can throw in some creation myth stories and some quantum mechanics double slit experiment discussions. A lot of things. We can put it all. We can tie it all together. Everything is interconnected. It's the interconnected quality of the universe. So yeah, I was talking to a friend yesterday. We were talking about how much information there is to learn in the world, and just how hard it is to keep your mind wrapped around all these different subsets of information. And we were saying, she was actually saying to me, she was like, "Yeah, you know what you got to do is you got to relate everything to another thing. If you can relate things together, like if you can make sense of it by relating it to things you know, then that's a good way to take on and understand new information, to be able to hold new information." So that run up that we were watching just kind of pulled back. It actually just turned back. The run up is over. It's all over. We're done. Farewell. So we decided yesterday to cover this briefly. So before we get into the JP Morgan coin discussion, which is a good discussion, I think people obviously are really concerned about this. I saw a bunch of people put out some interesting information. I think this is a good point right here. Crypto Joe says, JPM coin's good for JPM. This is really spot on, actually. So we're not gonna read that yet. We're gonna read that later because it's just too good. It's too much. It's all you need. We talked about this yesterday briefly, and I was reading through this article after the stream and before the stream, and continually reading about all these different things. What's going on with the Token Taxonomy Act of 2018? That's now 2019. It keeps getting pushed back. If the bill passes, digital tokens will likely fall under the purview of Federal Trade Commission or the CFTC. The SEC is already clamping down on ICOs. We already know a lot of what's happening with this discussion and how they basically are defining a digital token that specifies their exclusion of security law as their ability to remain fully functioning as a decentralized network. I think this kind of goes back to an article I saw yesterday with we're going to talk about this as well today, and I don't know where the article is. Let me just look for it really quick, but it was like some coin exchange calls out XRP saying centralized. I think that was basically the gist of the article. Centralized. So this is an article I thought was really interesting to look at because I think people keep kind of referring back to this conversation about XRP not being a real I'm a real boy. XRP is not a real digital asset. It's just a joke asset. I guess they're trying to say. Crypto exchange that listed XRP, basically calling them centralized. This was CoinMotion in Finland. A Finland-based exchange, CoinMotion, launched XRP by the request of their users. And, they put up a blog post saying it's centralized. And I think that the problem here is that they just don't understand. A lot of people just don't understand how the Merkle tree or hash trees work. And so that was one of the reasons they decided to call it as centralized currencies, because they said that it is, where is it? Where do they make that reference? Right here. So the Ripple network does not secure the transactions under a blockchain. Rather, it uses a model called the hash tree, and it's patented by Ripple Labs. That's actually not true at all. Hash tree structure was patented like in 1970 something by some other guy. And the problem that I think with this conversation is people don't understand how this network reaches consensus. So the Ripple consensus protocol is different from most standard blockchains, and the way it arrives at consensus is not consensus and the state of the blockchain are separate. They're not the same. So this is why the unique node list is really interesting. This is also why it's so efficient. It's very, very efficient compared to the other algorithms it's competing against. And if anything, I think that there's like a paradox for them maybe wanting to be decentralized or be centralized enough for the inclusion of them with fintech industries, but obviously decentralized enough, jumping back to the Token Taxonomy Act, decentralized enough to avoid the scrutiny of the SEC's security law. And this is a very, very precocious balance that they're finding themselves in. But again, the security laws excluding cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum once they become fully functioning networks. And if I saw it, let's go back to my tweets. I saw this tweet and I thought this was really funny. EOS raised $4 billion and has a network value of $2.6 billion now. So where'd that $1.4 billion go? Ether has raised 18 million and has a network value of 13 billion. So wow, they created some value there. And BTC raised $0 in their ICO stage because they never had one and has a network value of 63.6 billion. We should put XRP in here. Also did not have an ICO, pre-mined, launched, and now has equivalently very high network value. I think this is a great thing to look at too. If you look at a lot of tokens that are out of the ICO stage, like what they maybe raise some $1 million billion in ICO stage, and then they hit the market and they have a market value under their actual ICO value. And I think that's really interesting to think about. Like, what is really happening with that money? Where'd it go? And did they put it back into the ecosystem? Good questions. Cheers. I'll read some comments really quick, catch up with you guys. What's up? Good morning. Hey, Kung Fu. What is up? What's up? I'm not going to buy JP Morgan coins. You can't buy them. That's the thing, is you can't buy them. They're not for sale. No, I meant minus 20 cents soon. Cool. Discouraged ones. That sounds quality. Good comment. PS Unit Lion says, yo. Great Pate, what's up? SB's my advisor. SB's pretty smart. Tax return time, extra money for crypto. Okay, let's talk about 0 Point Energy. Clarence Dennison wants to suggest talking point. Excellent idea. Okay, let's do it. JPM coin is good for XRP. Will ease interoperability and integration. Yes, Delibre Philippe knows what's up. Deblair Philippe, je parle français très bien. JPM coin is good for XRP. I agree. We're gonna talk about that. Hey everyone, what time is this happening today? I mean, the discussion about the token taxonomy act. I'm not really sure. After this, I am slammed the rest of the day. I'm running around doing stuff, got work to do, things to do, popping off, got to hit the club, do my morning dance routine. I might be out doing things, filming for my friend's band later and hanging out with friends and eating food. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to watch that, but I'll happily report in tomorrow with what is my assessment of the changes. Yo, XRP centralized. Yo, obviously pro BTC. Silver Limey, I can tell you like BTC. Wishing everyone a very happy Valentine's Day. John Ardan is being very kind and suggesting you all have a happy Valentine's Day. I made a post today on Instagram that's kind of like my main squeeze and I hanging out. My main squeeze. Go check it out. Go see what's up on Instagram. Go like my post and comment on it. Wishing everyone a very happy Valentine's Day. I said that. However, it is a true banker coin, not XRP. Morgan coin can only be used internally for their customers. They have to convert to fiat and transfer within their network. This is true. Silver Limey gets it. It's fucked up how most corporate elite trash cryptocurrencies, but now want in. Yeah, Ari Ojong is right. Of course, they talked smack about the coins they can't control, and of course, they're happily launching their own cryptocurrencies that aren't actually cryptocurrencies at all. They're just like, this is kind of what R3 Corda did. R3 Corda launched a private database, and they said, yo, we made a sweet blockchain. You guys should hang out and check it out. And then when coders actually looked at it, people realized, like, this is not blockchain at all. This is not blockchain at all. This isn't anything. This is just a private database. And then people were like, oh, shoot, maybe we don't even know the conversation. Maybe we're not informed enough about the actual structure of blockchain and distributed ledger tech to be able to be part of the conversation because we, one, are very confused about the difference between a private database and a blockchain. And most people still are. Maybe even like me. Maybe I'm still confused. I don't know. I'm always learning. I'm always learning about these structures and how these systems work. So yeah, that's pretty much the problem, is a lot of these conglomerates, the corporate infrastructure seems to be continually launching private databases and calling them cryptocurrencies. It's kind of like a marketing ploy at some point. It's kind of like, remember last year we talked about one of the tech companies that had kind of lost a lot of their support, and they basically just renamed themselves to something blockchain, and they had a huge run up in value. People were buying their stocks, and then it came out that they actually didn't have anything to do with blockchain, or they had no idea what they were doing. They just changed their name to something blockchain, and they actually got sued for that. So I don't know if JP Morgan going to get sued for this, but I doubt it. But we're going to talk about why this is good for XRP in a minute. Money in crypto tends to go poof. It's a magic trick. This is true. Money in crypto does tend to go poof. Will's talking about this ICO tweet. This basically the idea that the ICOs had more market value, and then once the token actually hits the market value is less than the ICO raised, which is kind of weird. You'd think that maybe it'd be more, but nope, it's not. It's not. I put up this tweet. This is the CoinDesk report about JP Morgan's in-house crypto token moving to real-world trials in a few months, according to CNBC report. I put up, this is a stable coin with trust issues. Yes! God dang it! I'm done. I won. I won the internet today. Farewell, friends. Okay, wait. Don't leave. I'm still here. I'm just kidding. Let's just talk about that. This seems to be like we're 20 minutes in and I'm just yelling at you guys still. Huh? What are you humming me for? LOL, KFN, your French is perfect. My French is horrible. I can only say that one line. I know nothing. I literally have the worst French ever. They were giving $300 worth of Bcash the other day at the basketball game. Adoption's coming. Very cool. Good times. Great oldies. Mr. Pace. Quit stealing all my sayings. All right, keep using them, actually. I like it. Guess the real banker coin has turned up. Yeah, exactly. So here's the real banker coin, and we're going to talk about why that actually is going to be benefiting XRP. Will says, I find it puzzling why people are saying JPM coin's a Bitcoin killer or XRP killer. Do they even know what the JPM coin is? It's a stable coin for internal use at the JPM associate banks. Exactly. 100% that's what it is. And it's not really a threat to anything that's open and interoperable and looking to settle payments across different blockchains, which is really what XRP and ILP work towards. I was talking about the Finnish company being pro BTC. JMC might have to do incoming negative interest rates because of the safe haven against fiat. It should be eventually use XRP for a bridge. You guys get it. There's a couple of you guys that already know where this is going. There's a coin for anything that makes no damn sense. This is good news, right? Yes, this is good news. So cheers. Let's talk about this. I'm very interested in what XRPL is going to work on. Yeah, this is true. I think that the potential for XRP to be integral to the interoperable ILP system is my big push for why it's going to be exciting to use and hold it. Let's just talk about this JPM Morgan coin first. I've been reading about it since it was dropped, since it came out. Woo, doggy. Big red flags. The first big red flag is that we have no access to the code. It's not open sourced. When a lot of people, we don't know what's going on, who built it, how's it work. It is interesting to think that they do have a lot of customers already. Like they have a lot of relationships already to a lot of partners in the industry. So there's potential that people will be interested in maybe trying their coin out. But their coin kind of like their coin is the reason XRP is going to be so great, because they have built a token specific to their infrastructure, to their network. What happens when I don't trust them? And they're literally the example of a single point of failure in this situation. Like they are literally the single point of failure in this situation. So does that really scream secure and decentralized? No, it doesn't. And the fact that they're trying to keep it as a stable coin as well, that's very interesting. It means that they have to have some type of creation method. Basically, the creation method is they're going to create it as soon as you give them dollars. They create it out of thin air, and as soon as you sell the dollars back to the JPM coin or whatever, they just destroy the coin. So it's infinite. They just keep making it. They just keep making it forever. Basically, it's a private database that they're saying has they're saying it has the efficiency of a cryptographic structure, or they say it has the efficiency of cryptocurrencies. But basically, if you think about the paradox, I feel like I should open up the drawing board here. This is going to get like a little bit spacey probably. Let's talk about this. Drawing pad. Woo doo 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 doo. Hopefully I don't have any weird drawings on here from last time I was here. What were we talking about? XRPL. I think we were talking about there's not two ledgers on this one. I think this is like the not two ledger discussion. You guys remember that one? Let's see if we can clear this. Oops. Okay. So yeah, this is super simple to think about. This is basically, here's a private database, just this dot down here. This is a private, I don't want to write all this out. What did I do to myself? Private database. I'm going to put just DB. Private database. So this is a really easy way for them to get a lot of the things they want. Like there's a lot of speed here. Basically, they can make it really fast. It can have a fast settlement time. So speed is one of those. Give it a check. So the private database can have speed. Private database can have basically the control, or basically their control of it is also the single point of failure. They can control it though, and so that is going to be an incentive for basically the institutions that they're already partnered with to be using it. But then the problem here is, like, if you look at this, this is the private database side. Here is open source decentralized structures like blockchain tech. Let's just put, oops, can I erase that? Let's just put DLT, distributed ledger tech. And whenever we talk about distributed ledger tech, we're always talking about them trying to solve the trilemma. So there's a pyramid or a triangle or 3 points of interest. There's the scalability. Can it scale? Is it fast and efficient? And the thing about scalability is right now, scalability is really highlighted with private databases. So private databases can easily scale, very easily. The problem with private databases is they lack security. So they're not very secure. The reason they're not very secure is because they are under one person's control. So they have a single point of failure. Single point of failure. So distributed ledger tech, very secure comparatively. Very secure. Gets a big check there. And if you're moving money, you want secure. That's what you want. You want secure. So security, scalability, and then decentralized. This is like the trilemma of cryptocurrencies. Decentralized. So can it scale? Is it, oops, wrong tab. Whoops, I broke it. I broke everything. It's too late for us. Stream's over. Decentralized. I don't even want to finish that word. It's way up there. Okay, so the decentralized, they don't care about that. Private databases don't care about this at all. Distributed ledger tech are naturally decentralized because they are distributed ledgers. They have a problem scaling. So right now, distributed ledger tech, I'm just going to draw arrows all over this. Does this make sense? Are we enjoying this? Woo! This is great. Just going to draw arrows all over here. So yeah, these are like the paradox of where we are with this fintech systems, is like, which way are they going to go? Well, right now, the majority of people are over here in private database world. Like, they really like the speed and control. The problem is they're not very secure. So they lack security. And then the more that becomes apparent, the more they actually kind of start getting themselves in trouble with that. It's going to become really apparent. And they also lacks interoperability. So the private database doesn't have the ability, like if I'm inside this is why the protocol, the ILP, is so important. Like if I'm inside this JPM coin, the JP Morgan coin, it's sweet. I'm like, this is great. This is all I ever wanted in a coin. Except for when I try to do something that is basically the necessity of the technology outside of their siloed system. So if I'm outside their blockchain, if I want to do something else, I cannot do it. I have to like sell to fiat, or I have to trust them, basically. I have to continually trust JPM, and banks do not trust each other. That's the problem, is banks do not trust each other. So if I'm another bank and I decided, you know what, I'm Citibank, or I'm just some other bank, just like, I don't know, another bank. Let's make this a B. Just any other bank. Let's just call it bank. This, god dang, I can't write right now. I'm gonna call it back. I don't know. Let's go back. Let's not name it at all. It's just another bank. If I'm another bank and I have the same thing, I launch my own stablecoin and I want to, and it's inside my infrastructure and it's benefiting my consumers or my customers, and I want to trade with you. This is the problem. This is why XRP is really integral to this new system that's being developed, is because there's a baseline layer of communication between these. That's what we're talking about all the time as the oh, you guys can't see that. It's too far down. This is the ILP down here. It's this protocol, ILP. So interledger protocol. It allows the information to be exchanged openly between these different siloed stable coins or cryptocurrencies or whatever it is that we're using. So if I want to trust a bank, I maybe can develop a direct relationship with them, but then how many other banks do I develop direct relationships with? How does that scale? If I'm using the ILP, which is the open protocol for us to exchange on, then I know I can use whatever I want that's on the ILP. I can just use the ILP to exchange with other siloed blockchains or stable coins or private databases. Now, this is where the kicker comes in, is that if it's cost efficient to use XRP in the ILP protocol, then they're going to continually use XRP as a settlement asset on ILP. And this is why I think it's really important to recognize how this technology is being developed, because as much as JP Morgan is launching this in really saying, you know, like, he originally was saying he's not interested in Bitcoin at all. He was saying that he thinks it's a complete scam. And of course now he's launching his own cryptocurrency, but it's not really a cryptocurrency. It's just you can just name JPM. You can call it JPM coin all you want, but it's really a barely a stable coin at that. It's again going to be interesting to look at this moving forward and what this looks like. They are targeting the cross-border payments involved, moving large sums of money between banks as part of a part of their part of their ethos of the project. The problem is that they are, one, pairing it to the US dollar, which people are going to be moving away from, I think, and two, they're pairing it as a stable coin, which how is it stable? What's the fixed supply? What's the creation method? Why is it stabilized in attachment to the dollar? And also just the fact that it's, again, going to be built around trust for them. It's going to be trusting JPM, trusting JP Morgan with their creation of this coin. It's crazy. So let me see if I find, there's another article I was looking at that I liked more. Okay, here we go. This is the CNBC article talking about this exact same thing. So each JPM coin is redeemable for a single US dollar, so its value shouldn't fluctuate. So it's similar to concept of stable coins. How does that work? What's a stable coin? What's it working like? What's the creation method? Basically, the creation method is that they're going to just create them out of thin air and then burn them whenever they're done. They obviously do have a majority of partners already maybe interested in this space. This could be really good for XRP because, again, they're going to be bringing partners on and then demonstrating that this technology is useful, but there's going to be limitations of the technology in their hands inside of their private infrastructure. And I think that you can definitely expect, as we've been saying in the past, a development of an open protocol of exchange, because no one wants to trust one bank with anything. And banks don't trust each other, and governments don't trust each other, and a lot of governments are wanting to move away from the backing of the US dollar. So as much as this might sound like a confusing loss right now for XRP, it's actually going to be fine. I think it's going to be great. So the final use of these for their huge corporations is basically to replace dollars they hold in subsidiary accounts across the world. But as we've discussed before too, if banks are looking to hold something that's easy to settle with, they probably won't be holding another bank's coin. They're probably going to be holding their own coin, make their own coin, or they'll probably be holding XRP because it's an easier way to settle. It's a bridge asset. So they're trying to launch this test and they're trying to bring it to market right now. It's not even tested. It's not even like running and working, which is really interesting to think about. There was something else that stuck out. Something that stuck out as a red flag, mighty. I put up some tweets that kind of broke it down. Crypto Joe had a good one. JPM coin's good for JPM, but it does not, banks don't trust each other. You can see the problem is the same problem we had already before this. They need a neutral suprabank coin without counterparty risk for each other to use as a bridge asset. So Crypto Joe is very right about that, and the necessity for some type of settlement away from their own coin. So that is true. This one also is a good tweet. Mr. Chad Billy, cheers, Chad Billy. I appreciate this tweet, man. Thanks a bunch. Mr. Kaiser, this tweet shows your lack of understanding. So he put up Mr. Kaiser put up a tweet earlier that said JPM coin is a Ripple killer. This tweet shows your lack of understanding of banking. Stablecoins can only be used to settle intra-bank, which is not much better than the current system and does not solve the problems that arise in corresponding banking systems. So as much as this might sound like it's not the best news, I think it actually is. I think this is exactly what we are expecting to happen. This is exactly what we want to happen long term. This is good news. So yeah, Mina Lofty says, this is good news, right? Yes, it is. Cheers. I'm very interested in what XRPL is going to work on. Yes, I am as well, especially if the ILP becomes a very integral protocol for the development of digital assets, then the XRP will work on everything. I don't know really how they can move forward with these systems without creating a standard protocol. And it might not be ILP, but if it's not ILP, I assure you XRP will be part of the consortium of projects to have a standardized protocol for exchange of data and value. And then inside that level playing field of exchange of value on an open protocol, you have to look at what's, one, useful and efficient and fast. And that's good. Those are good questions. And that's why I continually find my interest in XRP. I'm very interested as well. JPM coin's a walled garden, which is perfect for XRP. Thank you, Chelly Fire. That is such a great term. Yes. And David Schwartz talks about that actually a lot. He talks about how walled gardens are exclusions. That's why HOT is not my favorite. The hollow coin is a little bit of junk to me because it is also a walled garden. It is something that you can easily understand the benefits of XRP as a cross interoperable settlement asset when you look at how walled gardens function and how they literally developed something that's going to be a global liquidity pool, tying it to open protocols, allowing things to be moving freely. So yeah, that's easy to think about. Freeze stablecoins backed by inflation, says Meowgi. I hope the price can hold off for a couple more weeks. I am buying a lot more. John Ardon says David Schwartz a few days ago told the community that XRP that we buy and trade on the exchanges is not linked to XRPL. What are your thoughts on this? I realized that tweet was a little bit interesting to kind of assess because I did think that the XRPL token was already paired to ILP. And in fact, that's one of the bigger things that kind of makes me realize that we are a little bit further. Woo! A little yawny. That's what makes me think that we're a little bit further away from mass adoption than we think. There might be the development of a few more bank coins like the JPM coin. There might be some other banks that develop coins like that. There might be some jockeying for position like Game of Thrones and fintech industries for people trying to acquire their partners, shall we say, to use their coin. But yes, the fact that XRPL is not yet fully integrated to ILP is interesting. It does make me think that we have a little bit longer of an adoption phase for them to finalize the ILP. And in its final manifestation, how does it pair to RippleNet? How does it pair to XRP? Those are probably the hiccups that I think we're expecting to take a minute. Maybe not. Maybe there's plenty of things happening right now that are on the way. I'm not really sure what's happening with the development of that. I do recognize that this is a very, very complex conversation and a complex situation. So it's interesting to look at all these things being developed. And KFN, how do you feel about Ripple in possession of most of the coins? You know what? Honestly, that's an interesting topic that people kind of keep going back to about Ripple Labs holding a majority of the XRP. And I think that as far as how they've treated this space so far, is they've been very instrumental in the development of the XRP ecosystem with the launch of projects like Spring and Coil, and with the with the constant incentivization of intelligent developers and researchers to join the network by giving away tokens to universities and to incentivizing people to play with it and use it and develop the ecosystem in a positive way, I think that these are good things. I think that it's okay that they hold that many. And I think that's also one of the benefits of the token is the inflationary quality of their escrow system. So it's like a somewhat inflationary quality instead of deflationary quality, which is it's going to be naturally deflationary once it reaches the end of its escrow cycle. So once all the tokens are out of Ripple Labs' hands, the escrow is over, it will be naturally deflationary in that moment. But inflationary right now, and the inflationary quality of our fiat, I think, is even greater. So yeah. Nerdy, Bill Gould, what's up? Nerdy, Meowgy, Grindy, Shawnee, hello everyone. Ahmad is spamming the chat. EFE, I've been contemplating buying more XRP today or waiting, hopeful if it'll drop this weekend. I want to make my first buy through Binance. Yes, do it. I like Binance. When Bill comes in, feel like a player getting called to the field before the game. Don't trust me, I know nothing. Reading comments, Pacey, EFE, Beauty, Beulah's in the house. JPM is just now testing. Ripple has had a huge head start. Yeah, so we keep seeing different people, kind of interestingly enough, more people joining the space and thinking that they are just going to do something that these other teams have been working on for years. There's going to be some hiccups. There's going to be some challenges, and they're not even going all the way. They're not even launching a full cryptocurrency. They're not launching a decentralized blockchain or distributed ledger tech. They're literally launching a marketing ploy to push their private database system, which is not even a stable coin. Like, I don't know what you really classify this as. It's not a stable coin, really. It's not really a cryptocurrency. It's like a virtual currency. It's not cryptographically secure. It's not focused on a coded store of value. It's not built on a coded store of value. It is not nearly as secure. It's not decentralized, so that means it has a single point of failure. So you can easily see that the single point of failure is them as a company running and controlling the entire system. And these are the things that people are moving away from. This is why these systems are going to take off. It's not going to be that long before people just kind of wake up to the conversation and realize what's happening. It's just like a marketing ploy, really. Real-time settlement, so they're working definitely on trying to acquire some of the real-time settlement partners, talking about how much money they already move. This might just be a way for them to try to cut down on some of their expenses in a sense. So I'm not really sure how far along they are on this and how well they can really use it. I'm trying to find little parts here that stick out to me. Replace dollars they hold in subsidiary accounts. So yeah, you can't buy this coin. It's not for anybody to buy or hold. It's really just for the banks to use in their private database system. They can call it a cryptocurrency, but it's not really a cryptocurrency. It's really just a private database that they're going to be opening up, and I guess apparently saying they're using blockchain tech for, but because it's not going to be peer reviewed by outside sources, we don't really know. That's an interesting point as well. So look at the market today. We talked about that for long enough. I think we can maybe make another video about that more if there's more questions about it. XRP 30 cents up slightly. Ethereum is kind of right where it was yesterday. No movement. Bitcoin down 0.05%. EOS is down 4%. Any big change happening? Loop Ring and Theta are up. Someone was talking about Theta yesterday. Big down. ARC, Monero, MOAC, Versadim all down. Binance Coin down. Looking at volume, which is always a good way to check up on things. XRP is down in volume. EOS and Litecoin taking some volume on for sure. Ethereum's volume is always a little bit up, so there's some volume on Ethereum, and Bitcoin's volume, of course, remains supreme. Bitcoin Cash battling out over Bitcoin SV. Major volume discrepancy between Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV. I saw some people talking about Bitcoin SV the other day on the internet, and I was laughing like, ha, 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 this is funny. Saw this article as well today. Long-term indicator suggests that Bitcoin price may be nearing bottom. Bitcoin's weekly MACD has diverged in favor of the bulls. And what's also interesting is if we go back to cryptocurrency if we go to CoinMarketCap and we look at Bitcoin, where was it? Why am I so yarny? Sorry. Okay. Wait, no, I don't want to do that. Okay. Okay, let's just do September 16th, 3579. September 16th, 3579. Remember that. September 16th, 3579. And now let's go September, November, December, September 17th, right there, pretty close. Okay. So if you look at this is kind of interesting to think about. Bitcoin's about at the exact same price that it was. September 17th of 2017, Bitcoin was about the same price it is now, but XRP was at 17 cents. So XRP's doubled in price while Bitcoin's the same price. So I would say, I would dare entertain the idea that XRP has found better support lines and consolidated into a higher price right now. Cha-ching. My phone agrees. This is a good sign. This is a good sign. So Bitcoin basically could have a run up and it could pull XRP up higher than its all-time high because it's already finding support lines that double the value of what it was the last time Bitcoin was here before its bull run. So thinking about this, the long-term indicator suggesting Bitcoin prices may near bottom. I don't know if I believe this. I think I'm kind of expecting another drop personally, but I'm not going to say I'm going to call bottom or top. You can't really, it's hard to do that. It's hard to say bottom. It's hard to say top. You don't really know. So when we look at the weekly charts and we're talking about these things and we look at the reality of like JP Morgan launching this coin that at first people might think is a competitor to XRP, but if you really think about the network and the structure, then this is going to be good for XRP, for cross-border payments, for settlement of digital assets, especially when we see the emergence of an ILP type structure. If we're looking at an open protocol for settlement, you know, what am I going to use? I'm probably not going to use any of the coins that are controlled by other banks. That's very much me trusting them. That's a very big flaw, the single point of failure flaw. And that's also thinking about the security vulnerabilities of private databases. I don't know exactly how much they're going to open up their blockchain, in quotations marks, if you can't see me, their blockchain to peer review or to code review. And if they don't do that, then I don't really know how much we can trust them. R3 Corda did the same thing, saying like, we're doing blockchain, come use our blockchain. And then they finally opened up the code for some peer review and people were like, this is not a blockchain. This is a private database. What are you guys doing? So this is interesting to think about, and the conversation again continually we're continually trying to inform ourselves and learn from what's happening in the space. I think that this is good. This is good to just see them recognizing the necessity to develop this structure, even if they are competing at first. There's a necessity long term for some interoperability between digital assets, between these private isolated corridors. That's where XRP shines. That's where it does a really good job. And even if the use case that we didn't imagine happening short term doesn't happen, I think it's still possible for their ecosystem to be useful long term use case, long term utility, if we will. So that's always fun to think about. That's always fun to think about. I just saw Henrik sent me a message. I went to look at it. Henrik, that's a cool video link you just sent me. Thanks for sending it over. I will check out that later and we can talk about that. Show what else is happening in this just a 10-15 minute video of Bitcoin's 4-year cycle. Yeah, totally, no big deal. It might be another year. I get it. Let's see some tweets that people are putting out. Kyle Pankion says it's a JPM killer. They will be last in place. Ripple is so far ahead in terms of technology that JPM won't be able to compete. I think it's funny that JP Morgan 1 definitely seems to think that they can just kind of like bully their way in with their marketing and calling out themselves as a cryptocurrency solution. It's not really a cryptocurrency. I'm not really sure what to call it exactly. This is definitely a banker coin. It's really funny to talk about banker coins in terms of a real bank launching a coin, and it's not even like a good coin. It's not even like an actual, it's not even a central bank digital currency. Like, it's not even a digital currency. It's literally a private database. The database technology that they're using, again, could be very confusing to break down. So basically they're saying anything that currently exists in the world that moves onto the blockchain, this would be the payment leg for that transaction. This is interesting of them to do that. They're basically, it's imagine like back in the day when the internet boom happened and someone trying to say like, I'm going to be the one company of the internet. It's like, I don't think so, bro. I don't think that's how it works. Like, no one's going to be like the company for the, you can't just be like, I'm going to control everything. Like, yeah, good luck with that, JP Morgan. I hope you hire some really smart developers that can try to explain to you how dumb this is. No, probably not. So ridiculous to consider them trying to be the one company that like rules all this blockchain infrastructure. Like, you can do it all with the JP Morgan coin. I just wanted to fall into like some ridiculous, like, buy the JP Morgan coin. You can do it all. It's going to be, you can do anything. It shoots lasers and makes coffee. When international payments are tested, so they haven't even done any testing on this yet. They haven't even finished it. I'm not really sure how I can take this seriously, really. They do have a majority of people already partner with them, so there's a chance that people will use it. If anything, it might just be a big demonstration of how there's a necessity for this technology, but how this is not going to be a manifestation that actually allows them to utilize the benefits of the technology, the benefits of said technology. So debt issuance on the blockchain, creating virtual simulation of credit and certificate deposits for banks, wiring money around the world, letting money flow freely. These are all the concepts of the Internet of Value, and these are the concepts of like the open protocol of exchange of value. It's great that they want to be on top of it, in charge of it. So they do right here have 80% of the companies in the Fortune 500 already partner with them. So they might get a good push out the gate if they can actually produce something that's worth using. I'm not sure what the incentives are of using this private database that they've created. I'm not sure how much other banks will use it or how much people will trust it. And I think that as we move forward, people will understand how this is just a stepping stone on the road to a greater adoption cycle for true cryptocurrencies. And going back to the article that I found that's talking about XRP being centralized, it's like XRP's found this really unique balance between like, it's kind of not it's different, I would say, from obviously most cryptocurrencies, how they reach consensus, but it's unique in that way. It's unique in the way that it uses their hash tree and the Ripple consensus protocol to reach consensus as a separation from the state of the ledger at the moment. And I think that's really why it's so efficient. And I was going to do a video breaking that down and talking about that because that gets a little bit heady. We're going to start calling it Merkle tree or hash tree instead of sharding, because sharding just sounds dirty, like something you do in your pants. And I think Merkle tree, hash tree sounds way better. So this whole FUD article about XRP is not a real digital asset claims exchange that just listed the token really cites over and over again that they don't think it's a real decentralized cryptocurrency because of the way they're using the Merkle tree structure, but that's what makes it efficient. That's what makes it work. So there's a evolving conversation here, as there always is, about the understanding of the technology and how it will be used and where it's going to manifest in the market. Very exciting to think about. Very exciting to think about. And I think the fact that Ripple Labs has so many tokens, it means that they have the power to continually develop the infrastructure and offer incentives in that way. So cheers. Cheers. South Korea's largest telecom company to develop local crypto. So this is interesting. The more people develop local cryptos, like the more people build token-specific protocols, the more necessary it is for us to have a settlement layer that's not token specific. So you can see this is obviously an inherent flaw with the cryptocurrency space, is that everyone's developing these token specific protocols, or you have a bank developing a faux stablecoin under the assume that you can do that either, or to assume that it's going to work out fine for you. So again, a new crypto token dubbed K token will reportedly be introduced in April after a pilot project is carried out next month. So a lot of pilot projects, a lot of people really just like trying to test and run new pilot projects. Eventually, you're going to get to a point where you're like, whoa, all right, we need some kind of standard layer of exchange. And looking at this too, I feel pretty confident this is exciting to look at the September dates around Bitcoin being the same price it is right now, and XRP is at 30 cents, almost double the price it was at the same BTC pairing. So thinking about BTC finding support at the price it is, and XRP being double the market value at that current time, what does that mean for the next bull run, etc., etc. So I feel like I want to do more research about the JP Morgan coin, but there's not a lot of research to do because they don't have the code up. Like they have nothing, there's no way for me to review it or look at the code. I can't ask my coder friends who are way smarter than me to look at it. I can't have a discussion about the development of this infrastructure because it's a private database. And that's again one of the flaws of them calling it blockchain. Like they're saying like, oh, we like blockchain and we want to use this technology, but it's like they're taking what they want from blockchain instead of actually using blockchain and distributed ledger technology. They're like taking parts of it and trying to make it work for their private database. I'm not sure how that works. I'm not sure how that's going to be different. So they do recognize that there is problems with the speed. They do recognize that there is a problem with the settlement payment possibilities for currencies and for financial systems. And they recognize that money is really trying to find a way to manifest in this new paradigm, in this new age, in a new way. And I think I respect that they're trying to build on that. But it does not necessarily mean that they are going to be able to do what they think they're doing or successfully. So interesting. It's just a digital token that will be used to instantly settle transactions between clients of its wholesale payment business. So you have to be a client. You have to be a client of theirs, one. That means that you're trusting them. That's a big single point of failure. I feel like I'm just repeating myself for this stuff. The bank chief and his managers have consistently said blockchain and regulated digital currencies hold promise. So they recognize the promise of this technology, and they're trying to utilize it in a private way for them and their customers. And their clients, I should say. So, I'm not sure really how to explain that any better. It's a walled garden, and they are looking to like offer marketing incentive. They're trying to really market their walled garden to people. But if you really think about the idea of walled gardens and how there needs to be an interoperability between them, then that's big stuff. Let's see if I can catch anything else in this article. The applications are quite frankly endless. Yeah, so they're trying to recognize that the blockchain technology is very, very potent. It's very underutilized. It has a lot of potential, I don't think JP Morgan's going to corner the market on blockchain. I don't think they're going to like take over and just be like, and everyone's going to be like, well, we're just going to use the JP Morgan coin. It's the new coin of the future. I don't think that's happening. And I think it's easy to kind of just like trust what they're saying too. Like, oh, we built it, it's great, and we're going to test it, but we're yet to see it being used. We're yet to see it actually be safe and secure too. A lot of banks and a lot of their private databases are easily hackable. That's one of the problems with Swift and Swift's payment system is that it's a private database, which is a single point of failure, which means it's easily not as secure as the free open decentralized cryptocurrencies that are again standing the test of the open market. So these lagooned away systems are dangerous to trust. Now, That's what it comes down to, is developments in trust, scaling relationships on trust, how hard that is. And also their concept for creation. The creation issuance is basically you just use a single US dollar to create one JPM coin, and then clients will be issued the coins after depositing dollars at the bank. After using the tokens for a payment or security purchase on the blockchain, the bank destroys the coin and gives back a consummate number of dollars. I messed up that word. So it's basically a digital dollar that has no real cryptographic proof, or it's basically like a stable coin without cryptographic security. It's dangerous to say that this is going to be effective. But it's exciting to talk about today is the news of JP Morgan rolling out their first U.S. bank-backed cryptocurrency to transform payments in business. Oh boy. Yeah, very exciting to see this conversation opening up to banks issuing their own, what are they going to call it? What do they call it? They're calling it, are they really calling it a cryptocurrency? It can't be called a cryptocurrency. Digital token. They're launching their own digital token. That's literally what it is. It's a digital equivalent of a dollar. So as we recognize the inherent flaws of fiat and the challenges of monetary systems being controlled by banks or being controlled by the US dollar, I think maybe even some big corridors will pull away from this because they don't want to just back it to the US dollar all the time. And that's a big conversation happening actually in the world of finance right now, is looking at what is the global reserve future discussion looking like if we move away from the dollar? Like, where are we backing our money and what to? Well, that sounds like a lot of blah. I'm going to read some comments really quick. What are you guys chatting about? Crashed. Hello. Yes, it crashed. Any word on the Token Taxonomy Act in Congress? I have not heard any word yet. Sent for revision. It will be reintroduced at a later date. So Grind says the act was supposedly sent for revision, which is, I think, going to happen multiple times. They're going to just keep updating it, sending it for revision. Yeah. Will says, I created a stable coin for use between my close friends only. It's always worth $1 per token. It kills Bitcoin. Yeah, exactly. You get how silly it is. Don't get me wrong. It's good by regardless, Bill. Bullcrap, the same situation as with Swift. Totally. So it's the same as Swift. It's basically just a digital token equivalent of Swift. KFN, do you see the article I sent you on Instagram last night? People are still talking about how centralized XRP is. Jade Midnight, we were just looking at that. I think Schwartz said RippleNet is not XRPL linked to ILP. It's not yet because the RippleNet that they launched to ILP was an older version of it, so they do need to make that. They need to consolidate or fix that, I believe. Cool, going fishing tomorrow at the lake. I don't go on weekends or holidays because there's too many idiots on the water. I prefer it when I'm the only idiot on the water. Yeah, me and you both. JPM Coin and other banks, if they choose to come out and hold each other's coins, would use them to exchange when money is transferred from bank to bank. So JPM got a coin. Will the other banks trust it? Not a chance in hell. Maybe a few, not everyone, not a chance. They would make it entirely centralized. Exactly. Sounds like Apollo. It does. Hilarious. The actual guy who started the bank owned the Titanic. JP Morgan was supposed to be on the ship on its last voyage, but he got sick and canceled. Interesting. Henrik says he would have been the first in the lifeboat anyway. I believe everybody should have a significant amount of JPM in their portfolio. Gabriel, you cannot buy the JPM coin. Are you talking about taking out equity in the company or buying shares? That's different. Never crashed. Yes, the stream crashed. Reload the page if it froze. Two things could kill crypto for us, the government or big business, simply taking the best code, change a little bit of it and making it their own. We all do the work and big business steps in and steals it. Jason Kellogg, you are right that there is a lot of challenges when there's a lot of challenges that happen inside of crypto with the technology kind of emerging as open and decentralized, and then privatization coming through, private institutions coming through and utilizing technology for profit. But I think if you look at the true development of these systems and what's happening long term, that they will not be able to compete. So cheers. Jay says, please don't delete your stream to give me something to listen to on my 2-hour commute home. Okay, if you insist. JPM Morgan coin connects JP Morgan. XRP connects the world. There you go. Kelly Slade dropping it with some brevity. They are far behind the game. Yeah, they're literally just now creating this, very far behind. Help them manipulate and cheat even more. This is true. So we are over an hour by 5 minutes, and we are just kind of running through some of the comments. Thank you guys so much for showing up. We were pretty much talking about the JP Morgan coin all day today. We did mention a little bit about the Token Taxonomy Act, which I think they're going to continually be bouncing around and discussing for a while, continually revising it back and forth. We did see this article about the long-term indicator suggests Bitcoin price may be nearing the bottom as well. So we're over the hour. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember to share my stream, share it to the world, send it, share it, tweet it out, do whatever. If you guys have not already gotten a free stock from me, you can get a free stock in the description. If you are looking at getting onto the Cash App on iOS and you haven't yet, you can use my link to get free $5 in the Cash App. If you guys have not already and you wanted to support my channel, you can do as little as $1 a month on my Patreon to support my channel. It means a lot. And if you have not yet purchased a cold storage wallet, you can get one in the link in the description as well. So cheers. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about your Valentine's Day. How did it go? Was it fun? Did you get all the things you wanted and flowers and more? I don't know. Tell me everything. Tweet at me, say some things, and I'll tweet back and I'll comment. And we have a bunch of videos I need to edit and put up on the channel. Whenever you finally see this depth chart slippage video come up, go ahead and check that out. You're going to like it, I think. So cheers. Thanks a bunch. You guys are great, beautiful people. I love you. You're amazing. Have a great day until I see you next time.
Brought to you by your team. No. No.